Hi, this is Kurt from Flint.
And Jamie in Austin.
So we're trying something new that we would like to call Just a Sip.
Not instant coffee.
These are going to be short segments taken from each episode. We hope you enjoy. I remind myself is that you're left-handed. I mean, I know this, but I forget. And my dad was a lefty. And so
my dad was a lefty too.
Oh, cool.
Or is a lefty, I should say.
And so I always remember lefties have to kind of orient themselves to the paper in a different fashion than righties. And so this is interesting to watch the development of your sketch. Does that help? I think the second sketch is going to be a little more important as far as orientation because of the mixed media. But anyway, other than that, I really love seeing the speed. And I think for the educational component to others is that, yeah, I'm getting really nervous now, is to not fret, right? It's not to belabor certain things, right? And that you're blocking things out and then you're coming back and finishing and adapting, right? So.
Well, right. And I think that's the whole thing is that it's, as you sort of watch me do the sketch is that there's the framing of the page is I'm trying to get I'm purposely knowing that this is going to be sort of I'm going to fill the form and use that diagonal of the book. It's just sort of, it's a little bit of a trick that I wanted to employ based on the pose and the image that I'm kind of working from. But I also knew that I was going to sort of set up this background that you're seeing right now and sort of it kind of further elongates the page. I think that as you sort of see the form it takes shape, but it's also sort of finding its place on the page. And to your question before is, there's an acknowledgement that even as you're sort of seeing these areas kind of getting cross-hatched in and shade and shadow to kind of build up the volume of the body and sort of the turning of one aspect or one form, one plane into another plane, those edges don't always have to be a hard line. They can be a hatched area, and then even a built-up hatch. You also see that the hatches sort of change direction. When you're only using one pen and only one line weight, you can crosshatch gets that extra depth of field and extra weight to the form visually, but changing direction does the same thing. So you can almost read it as one part of that arm in that center section is sort of hatched one direction and the other is hatched in a different. And that gives you a little bit of an angle into those two objects almost intersecting one another. And that's really intentional. And then you can also see that the grip on the pen doesn't necessarily change too much, especially when I'm filling it in a little bit more. But there isn't a whole lot of gaps between movement. It's all really, really pretty fast, and that's intentional.